This video captures the sightings and experiences from our 4-night stay at Mkuze Game Reserve. We were surprised with what we encountered, and after this trip, I really believe that this is one of the most underrated game reserves in South Africa.
We got really lucky.
Mkuze Game Reserve is a small but incredibly special reserve in northern KwaZulu-Natal, and being originally from Zululand myself, this reserve is just 2 hours from home, and I've been lucky enough to visit it many times over the past few years. I hope you guys enjoy the video.
Hey guys, welcome back to another video. We're here at Mkuze Game Reserve and we're camping at Mshopi campsite. We've just set up the camp and we've got a nice spot in the shade next to this drainage line along the fence, and we're excited for the next 4 nights and what it has in store for us. We're going to be filming as much as possible, all the animals and mammals that we get a chance to see. We're going to catch it on camera. It's just gone 4 o'clock, so we've got 2 hours until we need to be back at the campsite, and we're going to go on a game drive now and hopefully we get lucky.
Joining me for this video is my good friend Sheldon. We've been talking about doing a trip like this for ages, so it was great to finally make it happen, especially with the awesome sightings the bush rewarded us with.
We came up from Mshopi campsite and we've stopped here at Lebombo Tower Lookout, and the views are incredible. And it's a little cold. It's late July, so still the middle of winter. We saw 2 Inyala bulls having a standoff close to Mantuma camp. Really not a lot going on between the 2 of them, just slow motion movements. And we're going to carry on heading further down on Loop Road. It's just gone 5 o'clock, so plenty of time left to get back to the camp.
That evening there was no shortage of nocturnal wildlife. As soon as darkness fell, nightjars appeared on the road, and we were lucky enough to see the spotted eagle owl. Around the camp, scrub hares were active, and the trail camera that I set up later that evening captured a spotted genet and a bushbuck.
Welcome to our first morning in Mkuze. It's just gone 5:30 now and we're going to go on a morning drive soon. We heard a lot of sounds during the night. At the moment you can hear fiery-necked nightjar, giant eagle owl, and a few spotted thickneys. Also heard leopard rasping throughout the night. Heard it about 5-6 times, and we saw that the hyenas came past. We put up the trail camera and only saw spotted genet come and look at the braai area. So no hyena action on the camera, but we convinced that they came past. But yeah guys, looking forward to what the day has in store for us. We're going to check out the bird hides and pretty much cover the whole area of Mkuze today. It's not a big reserve, so I'm sure there'll be a lot to see.
The mornings were cold, especially during the week that we visited. Sheldon and I were saying that it's not often that you get temperatures like this in Zululand, and I definitely haven't worn this many layers on safari before, but we weren't complaining. This area can get extremely hot during the summer months. When the sun finally came out, the birds became far more active and we were treated to excellent views of this Burchell's cuckoo. I've heard they are specialists when it comes to feeding on flapnet chameleons, although I've yet to see one catch a chameleon myself. When we arrived at Kumasinga Hide, we also spotted a black-headed oriole which was feeding on a species of caterpillar. The hide is set within a sand forest overlooking a body of water, making it an ideal spot to watch a variety of bird and mammal species come in to have a drink. With it being the dry season, there are only a few water sources nearby. This wire-tailed swallow was busy collecting mud from the water's edge to use as nesting material. It didn't take long for the first mammal species to arrive. This group of warthogs showed up for a drink, with plenty of red-billed oxpeckers tagging along for the ride. There are openings in the floor of the hide that let you look straight down into the water below. We spotted plenty of terrapins swimming beneath us.
So we had a quiet morning since leaving Mshopi campsite at 6 o'clock. We didn't see much and did the southern loop. And now we've come to Kumasinga Hide, where we've been for about an hour, and a big giraffe came and had a drink. Also saw some yellow-fronted canaries, blue wax-bills, and a nice herd of kudu. All the action today has been here at Kumasinga Hide. And these hides are really one of the best parts about Mkuze Game Reserve. You just sit here at the body of water and the animals and birds come to you.
After a few hours in the hide, we headed to reception to check in at Mantuma camp. Because we arrived after 2 p.m. the previous day, the reception had already closed. Mantuma is unfenced, which adds a nice element and makes it feel a little bit more wild. We then stopped for lunch at Rhino Dino Cafe, a great spot, and we were surrounded by impala which were coming in to have a drink from the bird bath.
So it was a slow morning this morning, a lot of general game and some good birds too, but no predators yet during our stay here at Mkuze. And we've been at the campsite for the last few hours just chilling here during the heat of the day. Not that it's particularly warm, but taking it slow. And it's just gone 2:30 now, so we're going to go on an afternoon drive. There's still lots of time until the gate closes at 6 o'clock. And we've just been chatting now. Tonight we're going to put the trail camera up in a different spot, because we put it here next to the brass stand and nothing came past besides a genet and a bushbuck, but we are still convinced that there were hyena in the campsite last night. So we either going to set it up at the entrance to the campsite where the fence meets the road, there's an opening, or we're going to face it towards this dustbin behind me and see what comes strolling past. There was just far too much activity last night for it to have been a bushbuck and a small genet. No ways.
The sounds around the campsite during the previous evening had made Sheldon stack branches up against his pop-up tent just to make sure any curious hyenas kept their distance. It was another quiet ending to the day, but the sunset scenes were still spectacular. Nothing beats a winter sunset in the bush. The next day we focused all our efforts on finding predators. We had taken the previous 2 days at a relaxed pace, but now we were determined to track something down. We only stopped a few times during the day, mostly for birds that were sitting well, and we even drove some of the same roads more than once. Rewatching this footage reminds me of how the two of us had started to lose hope. After days of scouring Mkuze and hearing leopards rasping during the night, we could hardly believe that our efforts had finally paid off.
We got really lucky. A really special sighting. Couldn't believe it when we came around the corner and it was lying in the road facing us. It definitely heard us coming before we saw it. Unbelievable stuff. Really unbelievable. Truly special. I was just chatting to Sheldon now, and that's the first leopard I've seen in Mkuze and the first one in KZN in about 10 years. And Sheldon was saying, first one in South Africa, hey?
Yeah, first one.
First one in South Africa, yeah.
Beautiful stuff.
Unbelievable. And it disappeared into the bushes on the left. It actually came walking straight towards the car. And we're just waiting a few meters back, about 100 meters from where we lost it, just to see if it comes back into the road. But yeah, we couldn't believe it. We've had a slow few days, really slow few days, but this really makes up for it. So we're heading back to Mantuma camp now, and then we're going to head down to Mshopi. And the first two hyenas of the trip in the road here, it looks like two youngsters, really curious, having a good look at the vehicle and us inside. But it's all happening this afternoon, really the most productive afternoon that we've had, the most productive drive that we've had of the trip. And I think these are my first hyena here at Mkuze as well. And I've been here quite a few times, so that says a lot. Really special afternoon, and the sunset, perfect colors, beautiful.
On our way back to the campsite, we were lucky to see these wild dogs that were feeding on a male Inyala. After having a closer look at the footage, it couldn't have been too long ago that they made the kill.
Can't believe our luck this afternoon. First the leopard, then the 2 curious hyenas, and then the 2 wild dogs feeding on the kill that they made earlier today. I don't think I've had an afternoon like that before anywhere, and for it to happen here in Mkuze is really special.
Still blown away, bro.
Still blown away.
Visit my website richardvanhuck.com, where you'll find products like camera mounts for car doors as well as videography courses. You can also support the channel on Patreon, and thank you so much to everyone who already supports the channel. It truly means a lot and goes such a long way. And because most of you are watching this on TV, here's a barcode which you can scan using your mobile device.
Welcome to the start of our 3rd morning here at Mkuze. We're going to go soon. It's about 10 to 6, and we'll head up to Mantuma camp and do some of the same areas that we did yesterday afternoon, and hopefully catch a little bit of the action that we got. And from there we'll drive around, probably check out some of the hides, and drive to Nsumo Pan and see what we can find. But we're still running off the same energy from yesterday afternoon, so hopefully we get lucky during the day. Really excited for it. And we set up the trail camera last night, faced it towards the braai and the bin, but again nothing came past, not even the genet. And yeah, tonight we'll definitely put it in a different spot.
On our 3rd morning, we took things a little bit slower. We really soaked in the park and explored a few new areas we hadn't spent much time in over the previous days. These 2 male buffalo turned out to be the only ones we saw during the entire trip. They were standing in the long reeds which lined the Nsumo Pan.
So this morning we went to the southern loop to check out if we could see that female leopard again, but no luck. And now we're here at Nsumo Pan picnic site, and it's a beautiful morning, not a breath of wind, and the water on the pan is dead still. It's looking glassy. And you can see behind me there's some elephant droppings where an elephant must have been feeding a few days ago, and I'm pretty sure at night hippos come out of the water and graze on the lawn here. And we're probably going to have breakfast soon, whip out the Future Life, and after we have some breakfast we'll probably head back towards Kumasinga Hide, do the roads around Mantuma Camp where we saw the wild dogs last night, and we'll see for the rest of the day how it goes. Definitely stop at Rhino Dino at Mantuma where we've been having lunch the last few days. Really highly recommend it.
After breakfast we grabbed some fuel for the vehicle and couldn't help but notice the impala lilies growing next to the pump. While we were at the hide, we watched a large herd of Inyala come down to drink. The highlight was an unexpected interaction between the terrapin and the female Inyala. I'm not sure which of the two got the bigger fright. After sitting at the hide for just over an hour, we were able to see this purple-crested turaco come down to the water, but it wasn't too sure about having a drink.
Because it's our last full day in the park, we decided to come and spend an hour or so here at Kumasinga Hide instead of go back and chill at the campsite. And there's a nice herd of wildebeest that's been here the whole time, and two purple-crested turacos came down for a drink. Really nice, and it's definitely the warmest day of the trip so far. We've taken all the layers off, and soon we'll head to Mantuma Camp to grab some lunch, and after that do our afternoon game drive, and we'll probably do the same route that we did yesterday afternoon. We just got so lucky. Don't think we'll change anything. We've been coming here to Rhino Dino at Mantuma Camp every day for lunch. We've pretty much had the same order 3 days in a row, and where this place is inside the main rest camp at Mkuze, and it's unfenced. And where we saw the wild dog yesterday evening was only about 1.5-2 k's away from here. So anything can come through at night. I'm pretty sure all sorts of animals do come through at night. And I've seen reports of elephants feeding in the camp. It's really special the way it's unfenced and just has that extra wild element. So here's a nice big map of Mkuze Game Reserve. It's a small reserve, so not many roads, and we're camping down here at Mshopi campsite, and when we want to access these roads we have to come up the hill to Mantuma Camp where we are now. And the area that we've been driving the most is down here past the lookout. Apparently it's called Lookout Road, and then when we saw the leopard it was down here on Loop Road. So that's the plan this afternoon, to go from Mantuma down to the Loop Road, do the Loop Road, and then probably do this road up past the airstrip and then back down to Mshopi campsite. Nice map. Can give you guys a good idea of where we are and where we've been traveling.
We then decided to head to the Lubombo lookout to hopefully get a view of elephants which had eluded us the whole trip. Unfortunately, even though we could see across a massive chunk of the reserve, we still weren't able to see any elephants.
We were heading back towards Mantuma camp along the airstrip road. Just gotten onto the dirt road actually from the tar, and this lioness was about 150 meters in front of us, and now she's come past and it looks like she's got her eyes on something. We're just following her. It's just gone 10 past 5. Really, we're not expecting to get this sort of sighting now. We tried for the leopard on the southern loop. Yo, she's looking right at us.
As if that wasn't good enough, the sightings didn't end there. We were then very lucky to get a view of this white-tailed mongoose, and soon after we finally heard the culprits responsible for the sounds that had been echoing through the camp on the previous nights. We couldn't believe our luck with a second leopard sighting, especially so close to the camp. It didn't mind us at all, sitting just 10 meters off the road. Unfortunately, we could only stay for a few minutes, as we had to be back at camp by 6 p.m.
Yeah, guys, we had an unbelievable afternoon drive. Another one. We can't believe that lioness sighting, and then the white-tailed mongoose, and we ended off with that leopard, which is about 2 k's from here, 2 k's from Mshopi campsite, not far away at all. Probably the one that we heard rasping the last few nights. Really an unbelievable afternoon drive, and we decided that we'll put the trail camera here up against this tree facing towards the gate, so that we can see what comes into the campsite. Maybe we can catch a hyena, But yeah, after a few nights of not picking up anything on the trail camera, we decided that this is probably the best spot to set it up.
That evening, the trail camera revealed only a genet and a few impala. I was certain a hyena would make an appearance, but it never did. We were fortunate to get excellent views of the Shah Sunni. The sand forests of Mkuze Game Reserve are one of the few habitats that they occupy.
So it's just gone 8 o'clock and we've done the routes that we did yesterday evening in reverse, up past the airstrip and now down to the southern loop, and we haven't had much luck. It's really windy, so not a lot of activity, and the wind howled during the night. The tents were shaking around, but really quiet. I'm sure you guys can hear that. And we're gonna finish now with the southern loop and then probably stop at the tower lookout to grab something to eat before heading back to the campsite. Yeah, quiet morning this morning. We've just arrived back at Mshopi campsite now, and it was a quiet morning drive. Not a lot was active, and we checked out the spots which were productive over the last few days, but unfortunately no luck. It was also the windiest day of the trip so far. The wind was howling this morning and even yesterday evening, so yeah, it's expected that the game viewing wouldn't be the best, but over the last 4 days we've really been lucky here at Mkuze. We had great sightings of leopard, 2 sightings, and that lioness yesterday afternoon. And in my opinion, Mkuze Game Reserve, the best public game reserve in KZN if you're looking for cats, and even the bird life is incredible. So yeah, guys, also thank you to Sheldon for making the trip possible. And thanks for having me. Awesome. And if you guys enjoyed, please like and subscribe and let me know what you thought about it in the comments. See you guys in the next one.